Hello everyone and welcome to the second episode of Archicad modeling. My name is Namara Alan. Previously, we imported a PDF in Archicad and then we exploded it into current view. Then we resized it and placed it in the default workspace. So before we begin with the modeling, we want to remove this reference from here because now accidentally you can select this reference and move it around, but we want it to be a true reference. And I guess it's the right time we learn how to create and rename stories. So I need you to go to the task pane, right click and select story settings. When this dialog box is up, this is where you create stories from. If it's on a story below, you can click on insert story below if you need a basement, or story above if you need something above, or even in the middle of the existing ones. So for now, we are going to work with Archicad's default settings. So we can rename our plan to be a floor plan, ground floor plan to be a floor plan, and then we want to also rename our roof plan. You can put roof plan, and then we need to put this as our reference. So we are going to copy what we have to the reference, and then you say okay. So by default you will be taken to the floor which is currently selected. So you want to go back and press on the floor plan. So now on this floor plan, we want to take this up, but before we take it, I want to explain just a little bit of what is happening here. So what we have here is a site plan. So the site plan has this line type that demarcates the plot boundaries, and then this house that we're going to model has a backyard and a front yard. So in the front yard is where you find the parking and the gate and guardhouse. So for now, we are going to grab all this by marking it and then take it to the reference. And then we select the polyline, because when you select it, you realize it is a polyline, which you can find in document polyline. So when you have it selected, you can say Ctrl A and it is selected, but currently it's grouped. So you want to ungroup, escape and Ctrl A again, and then you will have the words unselected. Now that only the polylines are selected, you want to cut that by Ctrl X and place it on the reference floor plan. So when you have put it here, we can go back to the floor plan. And now how do we trace it? So you want to enable this icon on the standard toolbar, and then in the drop down you select it. Currently it's not available here, so you browse for trace reference and then you will find the reference here. So when you've selected that, you have this traced, and the beauty is that right now you cannot move this even if you were doing your modeling. So we begin with the wall tool. So you go to the design tab and you have the wall tool. You want to go to the settings, and the current given settings may not be enough. So we need to click here to get the dialog box, or double click on this wall icon to get more options, and or press Ctrl T and this dialog box will appear. So what we have here is you have a custom one where you can put a custom profile. You have this second option, which is for composite wall settings, where you can put in a composite wall. For now, we shall use the simple setup, and let's change ours to a brick. You can press B to find it faster. So when you have put it, then you can put for now 200 thickness of brick wall, and then you want to go down to the models tab and enable these surfaces. So let's link them so the color we choose will be replicated on the rest. So for now, let's use paint glossy white. We say okay. So When you have those parameters ready, you want to start drawing. Now, when you click once and before you specify the next point, you realize this wall is on the outside. So you want to select center for this example because we are using center lines. And then if you want to keep these walls in straight, you might want to press shift so they don't move around. When you press shift, it follows that axis, and we are almost done. So this porch will be outside, and there we are. So this porch we can put where we will put the column for that, and then we need also to have a wall that separates the entrance porch and the seating, and the exterior walls are done. So now we go to the interior walls. So I need you to bring it up. I double clicked and you put 150 because I need this design to be about the space and not so much about the enclosure. So let's have as more space as we can by keeping the separations minimal. So now we are going to have openings. Now for us to put openings in this plan, you will need the PDF which I've attached in the description below, or if you were there before, you could find it wherever you have downloaded it. You want to choose page 2 and then click OK. If you see this reference, we have arches that are before you get to the door. So we need to open the door settings. When it's up, you go to empty door openings, we get the arch, and then preview and positioning, you might want to adjust maybe the height. Mine is about 2.6 for now. So the way you place in a door, you specify where the sun is coming from, and then you also specify where the door should flip to, which does not matter now for now since it's an empty opening, but you'll see in a bit. So we will position these doors, click and specify, maybe drag to the extreme and stretch it to the extreme. And please take note of the shortcuts displayed. So what we want to do is now also you can also introduce in an arch to have a connection between the seating and the lobby space to the bedrooms. So once you're happy with that, you want to go ahead and let's begin with door 3, which will be on store and washrooms. So we go to settings, and when this is up, you want to go to hinged door settings, and we get the closest, which is door 23, and then we will have it 800 thick and 2.1 high, and let's have it on the ground or at 0, and then we want to choose the style close to that, which is style 53, and then we need the door handle. Well, since it's washroom, knob 5 is gonna work for us, and then you will need us to increase the scale so it's more detailed. As you can see, if you go in preview positioning, you have that. I don't like these casings. You can remove those casings from fixtures and fittings, so you can remove this casing since it is an interior door, and there we go. So we come and place it here. So you can change the anchor point because by default it's on the center. So let's change the anchor point to this side of the wall. So you click once and specify where the door will open to. So let's go here. I might want to change my anchor point such that it opens to this wall. And those are the 2 doors. And then we have also this door 2. So we got for door 2, so let's open, and when we're here, you want to get the closest. This one has a transom, and you get door with transom 23. So it's 200 and 2.4, the rest are fine. We go to door settings and openings, and then we will go to close one, which is style 40, and then we will get a handle that looks pretty much like that, and then we want to increase the detail in 2D if you want, or you can also remove the casings, or you can leave them. And then the other thing, if you're happy with that, you can say okay. So when you come, you specify. For now, we can open here, and what that means, the anchor here, is that whenever I specify this distance, like 100, so when I tweak the width of the door, you notice that only this point moves, this stays intact. So let's put it back in real quick, and then we have that placed. So you can pick the same door by using Alt or this icon on the standard toolbar, and then you can place the same door here, and we need the same door here, but this time we change the anchor point to this wall. So now we also need empty openings for that porch area. So you will go here and say settings, and then we select rectangular door openings, and we can open it like so. We position it fast, and we are pretty much done. So when you're happy with that, we go to the final door, and the final door, we need to go to settings. It has a little bit more to tweak, because we go to the hinged door settings, we get something close to what is given us, which is an arch door with side light, and then we need to tweak the width thereof 2.4 and the height 2.6, and it is 0 from the ground. Then we go to the door settings and opening, and I need you to go to shape. In shape, you check this side light horizontal division, and then I find that 750 works better for the distance from the ground to there. And you might want to tweak also the height of the door to 2.4, so that the 200 will be the arch. And then you also want to get to tweak the width of the side light, because it's almost half 2.4, which is 1.2. And there we have it. But then you also notice we have this division across, and we can put that by going to side light and transom sash, and then when you come here, you drop down and select side light. So on the side light, you might want to use HV grid or divide frame. Let's use HV grid for now. Horizontally, there are 2, 1, 2, and then vertically it's just 1. So the side light lower, you might want to also change it to HV grid, and you have 2, 2, 2 also, and 1 here. Then once we're done there, the other thing is the transom, since here you can see. So this transom has also a grid which has 4 divisions and 1 vertically. So maybe the other thing that we might want to tweak is how it looks like. Currently it's like that. So when you go to door lift type, you want to go and select style 40, and then you can go next and put a handle to it. Maybe you can use handle 1 for now, and also lift 2 can use the same handle. Say okay, and then we position it. I prefer using the center for this door, and there we are. So we have tweaked enough. Let's see what it looks like in 3D, and to do that we mark Q and press F5 and it will come. So we have tweaked that, and these doors are still above the ground, so you might want to select all doors, Control A, and then bring them to the ground. You realize this one is not selected, so you can unselect it and select it again and choose 0, such that all the doors now you are sure are at 0. And then the other thing is, this is looking, it's coming up. And then the other thing you might want to do, which is a preference for me, is to remove those 3D lines. So you click on the door and say Control A, and all the doors are selected. So we go Control T, and then we can go in opening lines, and then we override and uncheck opening lines. And that looks like it. So the tutorial is long enough, so let's go to the next part where we will put in the windows and columns to stop this thing from looking weird.